SAP? Are we not allowed to, integrate any other, platforms? That was a question someone had, which I couldn't see why that would be, but,
I've never seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be unless they see it as like, well, they're an LMS and they don't want any other similar type of, I don't know, whatever. Because I realize it's being different from, an LMS in regards to what it does. It's a different type of tool that helps support in different ways, but I think it's not always clear what that is exactly. At least in my mind, I'm thinking, I think I have an idea. Maybe I'm wrong, but, this is definitely, I need to be able to support why. And then, of course, what I sent you, for the budget, definitely I'm on a pilot budget and needing to be able to demonstrate why this would be a useful tool. And then I have a very specific case of how I would like to be able to use it to demonstrate the value. But it's very kind of I have to kind of almost shoehorn it into a spot where I can say, okay, and our company is rolling out a lot of tools, a lot of digital tools. They're, going big digital. And so I think that's another potential challenge, because we'll be like, well, what do we need another tool, right? We've got lots of tools.
Right.
But as I see it, it's a different, they have a lot of tools, but nothing for the educational, what I call communication aspect of helping managers figure out how to access that information in the fastest way possible, right? And so you could just visually look, know who's who, who's done what, where they're at, what their progress is, without having to run 20 reports and, have someone else parse it out for you, right? Or learn how to use, because then they have to learn how to use SAP, because they do. It's a new software. They'll have to learn how to use that. They've got Viva. It's another thing. That's, and so I just feel like, whoa, they're just going to be in overload of tools that they have to determine. And to me, realize it helps fit a space that will reduce the dissonance of the learning curve for the managers especially, but also for workers. Now, that's me with my, that's my hypothesis from what I understand of realizing, having been an educator for many years and also having worked in technology in different areas and seeing what's out there. But, maybe I'm wrong. I've looked at other tools. I've seen what they can do. This is why I kind of glommed on to realize it, because I thought, maybe this is a place that we can test it and see if it will actually.
So let me ask a quick question, Cindy.
Yeah.
And this is for some of our colleagues who will be listening to the recording.
Mm-hmm.
We did some demos with you last fall.
Yes.
And you were taking it in. You have been there at Takeda, observing the other technologies that are there and that they're considering. What is it that you saw and realized that really stood out to you as, okay, that's what I'm seeing and realize that I think is appealing and I'm not seeing in other places in the same way? Can you just articulate why you glommed on to realize it, what it was specifically?
Yeah, for me, I think what stood out to me was realize its ability to integrate existing information from other platforms about learning efforts and visualizing it in an easy to digest format. So especially the tree format, and then the different levels like leadership, the worker, the manager, right? And then at each level, so that I know that SAP can do things like this. I know that SAP you can run reports, you can, kind of run the report, see who's done the training, who hasn't completed it, right? I mean, that's there. However, what realizes it, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, what I think it can do is it allows a manager to see just a big, quick picture. You don't have to learn another software to make it happen so much as I mean, you do have to learn certain things about Realize It, obviously, right?
Sure.
But it's meant to be more seamless so that a manager, SLT person, a worker can go in there and go, hey, where am I on my tree of learning? And what do I need to be, where do I need to be going to? And then I also liked the integration of communication. So that communication factor of like saying, oh yeah, I need to have a one-on-one with so-and-so, or oh, I'm gonna have a group meeting. So that's sort of what, maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, but I just remember that aspect on the tree, and how that can be then, like they see it and they go, right, I need to have that one-on-one with so-and-so, but I want to have a group meeting with these people. So that aspect of it, and being able to highlight that. So I'm looking at specific groups that at our site, manufacturing, they have specific DP, DS, finishing, right? In each of those groups, there's managers, people leaders, then the manufacturing workers. So in that tree, what I saw Realize could do is that across the different spheres, people are going to be able to see, oh, like, who do I need to be talking to? This is especially for managers. They're very pressed on time. They don't have a lot of time to be like going, okay, which report should I run to figure out? Now they have tier board meetings every day. And at these tier board meetings, it's like 15-minute meetings to say, hey, who's where, what's going on. So they kind of can see, but kind of on a big, kind of spreadsheets for where people are at. But I think managers need a little finer, granular touch to be able to understand the training. So what I don't see in there where it can't be integrated this so easily is their mastery of a skill, and then like, hey, really, where are you at with that exactly in a quick format that's not just a spreadsheet? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. And
if you do identify it, how you close it. Yeah. How do you close it quickly?
Right. And for me as a learning, instructional designer, I'm thinking about, okay, what tools do I want to bring in to help them? Because right now it's just SOPs, a few videos, and then on the floor training, right? And so to me, it's like, well, we want to do AR, VR, I want to do micro learning, right? But it's like, well, how do we better fit those for where people are at in their journey, right? In their learning journey. And people have lots of experience. People don't have a lot of experience. People who think they have, like they are experienced, but they actually are still making mistakes. So how do we kind of fill that gap in a way that doesn't denigrate them, like you don't really know what you're doing, but no, it's just showing like, well, in this area, this is just what you need to improve in, right? And that's where I feel the learning portion of it is what's missing, is that there's a lot of what I call, there's KPIs, there's a lot of measurement of productivity for operations, right? Are you doing your job? Did you finish this? 100%, whatever, but it's not actually checking for what's your knowledge and your skill and your mastery of those, skills that you're supposed to be mastering. And there's not a place I see that can fit in there easily right now, even with SAP. SAP sort of does, but not in the way that I think Realize It can better calibrate it and